You got a call back on?
You ready? Yes, I am.
Motion to approve the.
George. Second?
Second.
Grasty. Have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known, saying aye. Motion carried. All right. Under old business, we have Eco Materials revised lease location. We, Judge, I think last month told us, you have anything new?
No, I haven't, had any communications since the, last meeting.
Okay. Yeah, I need to say this about our possible, I have something on, after Day status. He has a resolution, I'm gonna give him the floor about Day and the status, the loan payoff. You have the floor.
Oh, you wanna do that now? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what it said.
Yeah, okay, now nothing has changed on the, Dajian matter. Is there code? But the, anyway, the loan that you have with Legends Bank, had a balloon clause in it, and it came due. They extended it, we talked about that last meeting or two, and, they extended it in anticipation that, the building would be purchased before now, and that hasn't come about. So that loan either has to be renewed at a different rate and different, with additional charges that the bank would have to do that, update of the appraisal and all that kind of thing, or paid off. Earlier in the year, this board and the ship board talked about going ahead and just paying that loan off. What I'm going to recommend is that this be taken up in the ship board, and the ship board, rather than pay it off, simply pay it off, purchase the note from the bank, and that way the ship board will stand in first lien position on the property and the building, which will be, that's where you need to be. So, I told Cass I thought we just needed to bring it up in this board, but it's something that needs to be voted on in the ship board meeting. So I'll have a resolution for that in the ship board.
Okay. All right. Okay. I had a conversation with the potential new industry for the park with a guy that's in Georgia, but he said they're definitely interested in track 4, 16 acres that we were gonna let Eco, and that their schedule now is they would like to do this, get the property purchased and start construction by like September. So I thought that was wonderful news, and I thought I'd bring it to you. It was between March meeting and that when I talked about, I think 10 days ago. So that is one. But the reason that I'm playing 007 here is because Dr. Curtis says they have applied, filling out the application for the incentive through economic development and TVA. And we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So that's why I keep, not trying to keep you all in the dark. I just swore to do what he asked me to do. So, but that's the last I've heard from the guy. So that to me is very good news.
I've been bouncing around 4 years with them, and they finally come through.
Okay, that's all I have under old business. Anybody have any new business for the development board? Hearing none, the next meeting, unless somebody has a problem, May 28th at 5 o'clock. May 28th at 5 o'clock. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
George,
Second.
we're adjourned. Okay, jumping right in. Ray, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming up is I'll call the regular meeting of the Stewart-Houston Industrial Park Board to order. And in your package, you should have received the minutes from last month's meeting. And he picked up the bills here, to be paid. If there's no questions about the minutes or the bills,
So moved.
Vaughn, second.
Thanks.
Fitzhugh. Have a motion second in discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, business. You all should have received either by email or hard copy, a proposal. You ready for that, I guess? That's what you got here.
I didn't do that.
Okay, which you wanna do?
I don't know what's on the, I didn't have
Here.
that agenda.
Here. You wanna do the note first?
If you do, go down, man, go down.
That's what I was just talking about right here.
Oh, I didn't know I was gonna do it.
Okay. Under old business, you all should have received a proposition about the easement from Kendra Morgan on the gas line going over to the new gas plant for TVA. I don't know how many of you had time to read it over. I just skimmed over it. I personally are not ready to vote on it. I want to read on it, and I've called I saw some things in there, and I'll just go ahead and tell you what I was thinking. I've called our engineer, Mr. Bob Warren, and asked him about the crossing. And gravel is not suitable with him about crossing. And so I've asked him he's gonna try to get a hold of them, their engineer, and see what, I would like to wait till he says about the crossing. And also the clause in there, 6 feet deep is great. Unless they hit rock. Well, that's the Wells Creek Basin, as we all know. And there's rock from one end of it to the other. Might not be solid over there, but there is a quarry that a lot of us have worked at, an old quarry that's 195 feet deep, several acres in size. And I would like that cleared up. That not put it shallow if they hit rock and take a ram hole or whatever they're gonna do when they construct it. That concerns me. Bob said if the crossing's not done right, if the concrete crossing is not done properly, it'll crumble. So I'd like to hear from him, and then I'll relay to you all on that. So me personally, Cass Rye is not ready to vote on this last document we got. Any other discussion?
I'm sorry, I was absent last meeting. I know you talked about the crossing.
I can't hear you, Randall, I'm
You
sorry.
talked about the crossing. What's the purpose of the crossing, where it's located? Really, there's nothing that can cross it, is there?
Yes, it is, yes. That's what we talked about last meeting too.
That's what I said, I wasn't here.
Oh, that's right, you were trapped. I'm sorry. The crossing it was talking about is to come across their permanent easement to get to the Nolan track from the concrete plant, IMI, or the sewer plant. Did I ever think IMI would be down there hauling concrete with 2 batch plants to TVA? Now they're gonna open up to selling concrete to the general public. And then did we ever think that the city of Aaron would need a new sewer plant, but they have. I just don't want us to get cut off, my opinion. I only have one vote. Get us to cut off and can't get across that without getting in trouble running over there. From personal experience, there's got to be a berm to get across it, but I think we need them furnish the crossing to our engineer specs, what they get worked out.
Okay. I mean, I've read it over. I don't see a lot wrong with it except the rocks. I do agree with that. It needs to go full 6 foot deep regardless of.
What about the depth?
6 foot.
Whether they hit rock or not?
the rock's not even mentioned in the agreement, I could go for that.
Mr. Chairman, am I allowed to speak or not?
Yes, sir.
I think he'd like to clarify one thing on the rock.
Well, we're gonna let it.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, we
don't
won't.
get a chance.
Just let him go ahead and talk, and he may answer my question.
Come on, Mr. Ford.
So Alan Ford with Kinder Morgan, the question was about the sentence that says, unless rock is encountered,
Yes, sir.
that's striking,
That's what?
striking, take it out. We talked to our project manager before this, I saw that too, when I looked at this was drafted up as a standard agreement, but we will take that out, and when we formally present the actual easement docket for the counties to approve, it will not be in there, but for purposes of tonight, just strike it.
Well, we recommend to the two counties.
Yep.
Okay, what goes on in the park.
Yeah. Yep.
And so,
So that's, if that's an issue for the folks, we'll just take it out. It'll be 6, but if we encounter rock, what we'll do is we'll grind it down. We encounter rock all the time, so we'll just grind it down.
you'll be the first thing that's ever built down there that doesn't encounter rock, I promise.
I think it's anticipated that we will.
Yeah. Huh?
Anticipated that we will. We are anticipating that,
Okay.
our engineers.
All right, before he sits down, anybody else have any questions?
I have a question, and that is that even under our control at this point?
What?
Is that even under our control at this point?
It's out of our control. I'm sorry.
Okay, the plot that he's looking at and where he's going to go across, all right, does it actually belong to the shipboard and industrial board?
It
Or
belongs
is
to.
it still in the control of the counties?
That's right.
Okay, so we can't do anything unless we ask the counties.
We recommend to the two counties of what to do, and as long as I've been on this board, they've never done anything different than what we recommend to them.
But if they so choose, they could cut the deal with him.
Do what?
I said, if they so choose, they could actually cut the deal with him on the property.
But that's what I'm saying, is that we normally recommend to the two counties what they do with it.
I realize that, but under the situation, if we keep putting it off, they're gonna have to have the property surveyor, so they're gonna go to the counties and say, look, if it's just not done, we're gonna file for this, and
Are
they're
you,
gonna get it.
are you saying it's gonna back up on what he's just told us?
No, but I think we could run into an issue. I mean, I don't see any problem with it, I'll be honest with you, as it is. I just can't see that the easement being that big an issue.
You know, from the very beginning, the two counties created this, Stewart-Houston Industrial Park Board to have control of the industrial park and to be agent for the counties, for the purposes that are set forth in the agreement between the two counties. And now I know of nothing that's ever been done that wasn't recommended by the shipboard to the two counties. Now, that's not to say that it couldn't be done, but you'll sure be breaking a long number of years of precedent
And cover.
to go around this board before you do it.
You've got your two mayors here, ask them how they feel about it.
Well, maybe.
I'll speak first, if you don't mind. I'm actually not against him crossing the park, but if we keep, I understand what they're saying, I understand you, but we're almost like we're pushing against, you got your opinion, you're against it no matter what.
No,
I mean, you're pretty much saying you're,
no, sir, I'm not.
okay, well,
Maybe I can't explain myself.
okay, I didn't understand you then.
Okay,
But you don't even wanna take a vote on it tonight to send it to the counties, to ask for the county's approval, so.
I just haven't had time to look over it.
Yeah, I know,
It
but,
cleared the one issue about the deal. That's great.
yeah, and I actually asked him about that myself. And they actually called their guy and they're taking it out. But I looked over it and I asked him about it, so, but
Is there a rush to do this?
well, he's on a timeline, I know, I'm sure he's on a timeline, and, we had last month and we didn't get anything done, and it looked like tonight we may not get nothing done either, so,
I just want to vote, Mayor.
yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how to vote.
Thank you.
I'm just telling you that, let's quit dragging down good things in our industrial park.
Instead of the crossing with gravel, can you put it in concrete to our engineer's spec?
I can't agree to that tonight. We're agreeing to gravel at this point. If that's something that the counties are insistent upon, we can discuss that. But at this point, you know, that's why we're burying it 6 feet in anticipation that there will be heavier equipment crossing it. But we're just filling in gravel at this point. There's nothing certain it's going to be crossing.
There's another, how you access after you build the, I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
You just asked my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know precedent, as Judge is saying, is probably not been said in this, but I would go back and say that this board is set to create industry for both counties to prosper. I think we would all agree on that. I know you guys would. You're not creating industry by running a pipeline across so therefore I would definitely put it back in front of the legislative bodies of each county. It's their property. If there stands to be, I don't know that there would ever be money made, but I know that both counties, I know that I've talked with Mayor myself, we don't want to see any harm brought to the board. However, another clause in your bylaws or in your, I don't even know what they're exactly they're called,
Restrictions and covenants.
but it was talking about coming back and giving to the county also when you built up monies and things like that. That's in there. I would challenge you to read that. And also, precedence has never been set there. I don't know that this board has ever given money back to or did any community projects that I've ever heard of. I'm not saying you haven't, because I'm 45, and this, I think
Not as far as I know.
right.
Any of you all-
But, I mean, I'm just saying if that's set, so if there's any money to be actually, or not money, let's say, community projects that these guys would wanna do, that needs to go before the legislative bodies. I'm not saying we don't, respect everything you guys do, but this is a legislative body, issue, not an industrial.
Not a what, I'm sorry.
I don't think it's the industrial parts issue I mean, I actually might go as far, and I can't tell you how they vote. You might have a hard time getting that property, not putting industry on it for my commission.
But they don't want
I'm saying this board might have a problem acquiring the property from my legislative body, not putting industry on it.
maybe I don't understand, but I didn't think we were even asked to do that.
Asked to do what?
For the Stewart-Houston to give us the land, the 2 counties. Right down the road, that's what I'm saying, if we cut that end off, I think it will hurt that track for future industry. I'm not talking about us asking for it now, we putting the development for us, man.
I think we have so many nice, beautiful tracks out here right now that ain't full. The last people on this board, when we're all dead and gone, is gonna be that little track over there we're talking about.
I'm not gonna deny that.
No, I don't, you know,
Since I'm old enough to be your father,
I
you
think
know.
without arguing and just being simple about it, it's both the county legislative body's property. I feel like if it's not industry related, it needs to go back before the, that's my opinion. That's what I'm like.
What I'm trying to say, that this project is not gonna create, the pipeline is not gonna create any permanent jobs. Just construction while they go through there.
Right.
And that's what I'm concerned about, and also fixing where we can cross it.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think that, don't think that I'm in here trying to take any kind of shortcuts or anything. I think the county legislative body would work with you guys and your engineers to make sure what's done to specs. We had, the mayor asked about the 6 feet deep thing, and they had to go back and read it, because I think they had already wanted it out of there. They said they'd already set it to 6 foot, and they didn't, the rock thing should have already been taken out. This is not, these are people that's gonna be in our communities for a long time partnering with us. And I don't think the industrial board itself should gain monetarily off of the county's citizens' property.
I have one question for you, please, if I may. You don't wanna say anything more?
No, sir, I'm good.
The clause in the easement that you sent us first, about if that is running east and west to the best of my ability, your pipeline.
Okay.
And when you get through with the permanent construction, I would like to see that clause in there taken out of, you can access it anyway. I would want you to stay on your permanent easement to repair it instead of just coming across it,
So we have to stay on our easement.
okay?
So we don't have ability to cross private property to get to our
Okay.
easement unless we have permission from the landowner or it's an emergency event. So all we have, once these temporary workspace reverts back to the landowner, the owners of the property, that's their property again. We don't have access to that anymore. If we wanted to have access in the future for additional construction work outside of our 50-foot permanent easement, we would need to come back and seek permission to do that.
Thank you for
We don't
answering
have
my
any further control over the temporary workspace once we are complete.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
There was a clause in there, and I asked you about it last time, you said you'd take it out,
Okay,
about that, about you could access it over any adjacent property.
okay.
I had a question. On the concreting, is that something that you'd be susceptible to looking at if that's a major issue?
So if that is an issue for this board or for the county boards, what I would suggest is if we could get a move from this board to those boards or get acted upon tonight with some direction or preference, we can certainly look at that between now and the times of approval or review by the two boards, which are in May. And we are, as previously mentioned, we are on a schedule. This project is scheduled to begin construction in October. We're 85% acquired on property now, and we have certain timelines that we have to meet for property acquisition to finalize those negotiations so that we know we're on schedule to have 100% acquisition by construction start in October. So that's why we're here tonight, and there is an interest in continuing to move the process along. But you know, if concerns that you have about specifics, we've been trying to address those. I think between the last meeting and now, and we addressed one tonight with the issue related to the rock. I mean, that is a standard process, as I mentioned, for us we will keep it at 6 foot of depth, and we can address the additional gravel crossing if that's something that's a desire of this board or the boards.
With you saying that, I'll make a motion we approve it with the concrete being looked at for the value to add to it, or if it's a necessity, and we'll see it in our engineers.
Send it to the county.
And then send it on to the counties, and at that time you can talk with them.
I second that.
Who seconded?
I second it.
French, did you get his motion all right? You're welcome to sit down.
Okay.
Spurgeon?
You got a question here?
Yeah, I have a question.
Or Ben? Okay. Mr. Ford?
We're in discussion.
Sorry.
I was waiting.
Mr. Ford, I apologize.
That's okay.
I should have been a little more assertive, I'm sorry. I just have a quick question. I'm not well versed in longitude and latitude, I know what they are. But, you have included in here that it's a 50-foot wide right-of-way easement.
Mhm.
What's the length of that easement, do you know?
Across the property, it's delineated in the document, the attachment here. So this is the length of the 700 foot line, roughly 700 feet.
Perfect, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it.
Sorry.
Thank you. Motion second, any further discussion? No further discussion. Roll call vote.
Ready?
Yeah.
Dorch,
Yeah.
Fitzhugh,
Yes.
Fitzhugh,
Yeah.
Grasky,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Rye,
No.
Spurgeon,
Yes.
Vaughn,
No.
6-2.
yes, sir.
Motion carried. All right. Any other old business? Is this where you wanna do the payoff, the resolution? Judge Benson's gonna talk to us about the bank payoff.
Okay, now I've already stated that, the balloon note came due on the spec building in, February. And you all remember that, you voted to, extend that, ask for an extension of the loan, which the bank did, and now they're ready for it to be either paid off or renewed. And, the ID board, doesn't have the funds to pay it off. Earlier, it's been some time back, the, ship board and, ID board had a discussion about it, that, the ship board would, go ahead and forward the funds for it to be paid off, or go ahead and pay it off. I'm recommending that this board purchase that note from the bank and, be assigned all their rights in it, so that you'll be in first lien position on the property, just like the bank is now. And then, any payments from the ID board on the note would go to the ship board as the ship board deems necessary. So,
Motion to do just that, Judge.
Sir,
Motion to do just what he said.
have a
Second.
motion. Dorch, Vaughn, have a motion second, accept what Vice Judge Vincent gave us about this and the resolution.
yeah, I've got a resolution. Y'all will, this resolution needs to be adopted. And, let me pass it.
You can answer one of them as you walk, see if it's dating up to date on the payments.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Randall, I'm sorry?
Is Beijing up to date on the?
Yes.
Okay.
So are they up to date on their payments? So they are up to date on their payments, that's a correct statement?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure them out a little bit. So
Good luck.
are they up to date on their payments so they can liquidate everything? Or what's their, I mean, are they in complete default anywhere? I mean, they're not defaulting to the, paying us.
They're not in default with us.
But I wonder what their
Except for
philosophy
that.
is here.
Why don't we do something? Let's vote this up or down and then we'll talk, okay?
Okay,
Is that, I mean, you don't want to say.
yeah,
We need to decide what we're gonna do about the note. And there's been a motion and a second.
well, I mean, we were in the discussion phase, but I mean, I can
Okay,
do that.
oh,
I can
that's
do
fine, I'm
that.
sorry.
I can do that.
I'm good.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Well, but there may not be an answer to it, may not be an answer in this room here, but I'm just, well, I'm gonna support this, I think. And,
Well, the,
but I'm kinda wondering, I'm just kinda wondering what their,
I can speak
Anybody
for
know-
myself, I can speak for myself with this. I don't know anything about how much they owe. I haven't talked to the general contractor. I don't know anything about that other than Dajin is making the payments to us.
And, you know, we do have an attorney representing the board in that you know, y'all are aware of that, and, you know, we can speculate about what their intention is and all, and your speculation on it is just as good as mine or anybody else's, so.
That's a fair point.
And-
I mean, I know I'm not talking factual or
And they're represented by the
Oh,
firm,
really?
the firm that has an attorney here in the
Really?
booth, so.
He's part of the firm that represented by DayGen,
Okay.
correct?
So, I don't. He's not in, I don't think Mr. Murphy's involved in that.
I mean, Murphy, I'm sorry.
His
You
firm.
look like a Bradley to me, so.
Part of this resolution is that, the bank wants the money wired to them. And, they already have all the paperwork ready, and I've been working with them to get the appropriate paperwork to sign over to the shipboard, so the shipboard will stand in first lien position on it. And,
So question, so what that means is, if we vote to purchase the note, and then there's default, I mean, the property,
well, it's not ever gonna be defaulted as long as the ID board makes the payment. The ID board's the creditor in this note. The ID board owes the money.
And DayGen pays the ID board.
Yeah, DayGen pays the ID board, and that's what the ID board's been
Well,
using to
okay.
make the payments on it with, and they'll continue making the payments as long as the shipboard thinks that's advantageous, and we may have some further discussions about that at some point, but right now, that's what's being done. Every month, the payment's being made, right? As soon as you get the payment from DayGen, then.
Well, we haven't made a payment since we renewed it
Because of the.
because there
renewal
wasn't a
fee.
renewal.
I have a
wasn't a
question
payment.
for you, Judge.
Could I, let me
Okay, I'm
finish
sorry.
that
I'm
before I
sorry.
finish what I was saying. They need the money wired to them, so part of this resolution is that, the, shipboard issue a check to, Traditions First Bank for the wire in the amount
So
that's
we're gonna
stated
change
in
that.
there, which is the payoff.
Yeah.
And so,
We signed checks tonight for the payoff, paid out to Legends or what, so that was wrong, but that's what I was
no,
gonna
it's
ask.
gotta be, they want the money wired to them,
Okay.
so, in
Maybe
order to
get
get a
it back.
wire, you're gonna have to make a check payable to the bank, that's gonna wire it.
We can do that now, can't we, after the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, then the rest.
And that's in the resolution. So go ahead, I'm sorry, and I
No,
had to get.
no, that's good, I'm ready. Y'all ready to vote on it? Any more further discussion? All in favor of the resolution, judges, presented to us, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Also, in that motion a while ago, I need to be allowed to call the bank, transfer $1,800 tomorrow.
Plus the payoff.
Huh?
Plus the payoff.
Plus the payoff.
Don't move.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Any new business? Anybody? Good. I don't know where the county mayor's went, but I don't have any other new business. Motion adjourned.
Second.
Spurgeon, Dortch, adjourned. Thank you all.
This goes in your minutes, I need a copy.
Okay.
We need to sign another check. Yeah.
And then they're gonna need a check, just like it says right there.
Signed there, but we got